Excalibur issue 14 finds Betsy psychically contact Jubilee, wanting her and Shogo to know about the deadly duel she's about to partake in. Jubilee wants to come and help, but Betsy tells her to stay far away from Starlight Citadel, not having any time to fill the mutant in on what's happening. Betsy cuts the link as Iska comes to see her, telling her that the Nine of Swords is an ill omen and it's not too late for her to pull out and avoid death. Betsy tells the woman to get away from her, but Iska was only trying to give her some friendly advice, reminding her the name Unbeaten isn't just a name. Betsy notes her sword is called Mercy, but Iska the Unbeaten tells her, however, that is just a name. Out in the arena, King Jaime welcomes the two combatants to his arena as Magic hopes Douglas is watching, since he might learn something from Betsy, being that she's a pro with her sword. Betsy and Iska cross swords and the battle begins, with Betsy getting the drop on the Arakai and getting the first hit in. Apocalypse knows that this will require some cleverness on Captain Britain's part, but Wolverine tells him to shut up and just cheer for her. Iska presses her attack as Betsy says that Iska being able to not lose means she's never learned how to fight, but Iska knows that she is wrong as she slashes Betsy's sword, breaking it, and in turn, it breaks Betsy, blasting her into a million pieces. Saturnine is upset that the duel is over already, telling her priestesses to handle this while they set up the party at the Citadel. Brian is outraged, knowing Saturnine is meddling with her own games, but the Queen says she did nothing of the sort and Betsy lost the duel fair and square, knowing that since she died in the other world, she can't be brought back on Krakoa. Brian threatens to kill the Queen, but Wolverine calms him, saying that he tried that already and it didn't work. Apocalypse asks about this party Saturnine talks about, learning from the Queen that this will be a challenge, and she hopes Douglas can speak every language as quickly as he can as his card is pulled. The priestesses take Cypher away, told that he will be returned, but he will be changed. Storm knows that they must do something as Bay of the Blood Moon is also taken by the priests, making Douglas wonder if that's who he is fighting, unable to understand what Bay is saying. In her own language, Bay says that she will paint the priestesses' tombstones with their blood as Cypher continues to try and understand her, wanting her to say something else so he can learn more as the two are separated. Brian meanwhile thought that Betsy would only be humiliated in this battle, not destroyed, but Apocalypse reminds him that he's a fool to think that this journey would be without sacrifice, and some of them will return while others won't. Cypher meanwhile is taken into a room where the priestesses dress him in a robe and a flower crown, making him feel like he's being dressed for slaughter. Magic arrives, thinking the mutant looks cute and she needs something to laugh at. Douglas pleads with her to help him since he can't fight, but Magic already knows that. She tells him that they are all still in shock about Betsy, not knowing if she's really gone or not. Magic, however, doesn't know if Cypher will die in his battle, but now it seems like a very possible outcome and she only came to see if he's okay, and since he's getting a makeover, she can go. Cypher wants to know about the others, learning that Brian is inconsolable and everyone else is just kind of mingling with the Arakai, but no one is friendly towards Iska. She says that a bar is being set up and the next challenge doesn't feel like a duel, more like a dinner. Cypher thinks Bay will be hunting him for sport and serving him for dinner as the priestesses open the door to the hall, revealing to Douglas that his challenge is a wedding and he is to marry Bay of the Blood Moon. Cypher is so happy that he doesn't have to fight Bay, and the other mutants note that he does look relieved not to have to fight, but Wolverine knows that marriage is hell next to a quick death. Without any vows prepared, Cypher has to make some up, swearing to uphold his vow to the woman for the duration of the challenge, grateful that he has got to do this and not have to fight her. Bay, in her own language, says that she will love Cypher with the force of the wave that crashes the shore and fight for him like the current that swallows the sand. Apocalypse reassures Douglas that they were good vows, wanting the boy to accept them. Cypher does, and Saturnine says that he may now kiss the bride, as Bay reveals her face and Douglas finds her to be very pretty. Suddenly, the Citadel and the wedding is attacked by Jubilee and Shogo, who wants to know where Captain Britain is. Wolverine thinks that she's going to use Shogo to burn the Citadel down, but Apocalypse says that her son's dragon fire melts the very fabric of reality, so it'll do more than just burn. Storm goes after Jubilee, hoping to reason with her face to face since the psychic connection isn't working. Bay puts on her war mask as Douglas tells her not to go out there, knowing they both can't understand one another, but he's never been more fascinated by someone like her, and he has to concentrate to figure her out, but he soon loses his train of thought as he stares at his new wife, who grabs him and kisses him. Saturnine meanwhile says that either team will get an extra point if they bring her Jubilee's head, but Wolverine says that she will need to go through him first. Storm flies up to reason with Jubilee, but Shogo thinks thinks that she's an enemy, trying to blast Storm with his fire. Saturnine remembers Shogo is just a baby, using her magic to manipulate the dragon's mind to come to her. Fire builds around Shogo as Saturnine takes control of it, exploding it into a barrage of fireworks as Saturnine says that she will make sure no one hurts the dragon. Wolverine points out Shogo is headed for them, and because of the speed he's traveling at, he will buck Jubilee from his back. So Storm needs to catch the woman. Storm grabs her teammate as the dragon heads for the Citadel, crashing into it and landing in front of Saturnine, who pats the dragon on the head, telling him that he is hers now, and she will give him whatever he wants. But had he brought his mother to him, she would have Shogo kill Jubilee in front of her friends. Saturnine calls for the wedding to be finished, finding Bay and Cypher are still kissing, and since she got a wedding, fireworks, and her own pet dragon, she finds herself in a very good mood, awarding both Arakko and Krakoa a point each, and soon time will tell if Bay and Cypher will be happy about their victory. Excalibur issue 14 Soar Swords finally make contact in a really surprising way as Arakko takes the lead in the contest of swords. For an event based around swords, I'm surprised at how little they are actually factoring into the story so far, as we've got one sword fight this issue and it lasted about a page and it wasn't even the main draw of this issue. That's not to say it was bad, since I certainly didn't see the outcome happening with Betsy dying, but then again, we have had hints that Saturnine is being rather biased towards Arakko in her point giving, which is something I hope we get to see a little bit more of as the series enters the final few issues. The real swerve of this issue, however, was Cypher's role, as the boy didn't even need to sword fight, instead marrying his opponent, which I thought was really quite cool and quite creative and different. Although I am a little disappointed we didn't get to see him fight, since I would have loved a kind of underdog plot for him, with him winning against all the 5,000 to 1 odds against him. Now with the battles taking over the book, I'm intrigued to see what the Wolverine issue next has to offer for us and how many duels we'll get per issue before we reach the end and who's going to be fighting who. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10.